I ran into one problem, and at this very moment I don't know what I'm going to do about it. Hey y'all, welcome to T&T Homesteading. This is Terry. Down at the cabin, and I've got a project planned for today that I'm wanting to get done. It's sort of cold. It's in the upper 30s, I think, at the moment. But what we're going to work on is the supports underneath the cabin. Let me show you. So you can see how these supports stick out from the side from underneath it. So the plan, not all of them, but several of them. So the plan is I'm going to jack this up and I'm going to adjust the support so they're completely underneath the cabin. That allows us to go ahead and well, once that's done, it allows us, we'll be able to finish up the electric and then put some skirting on, because right now with these supports hanging out from the side, I couldn't skirt this well. It would want to stick out and bow, and that's just not going to be good. So we're going to do that. So that's the plan for today. I've brought in a car jack, and I'll probably end up using some other supports, because at this end, you know, it's a cinder block, but at that end there's 2 cinder blocks plus supports, and so, you know, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I need to get on this. There's a chance of rain, and I'd like to get this done before that gets here. All right, I've done 3 of these so far. This one I didn't have to touch. This one's next up, and I thought I'd sort of show you what I'm doing. This isn't really hard, just a little time consuming. It started raining on me a little bit ago, so I had to take a small little break. I take the jack, I place it close to where I want it. I've got a block just because this jack doesn't go as high up as I'd like, though this doesn't need to go very high. The siding is just on the front, so I don't want to jack on this. There's a 2x4, 2x6 just inside that, and so, well, there we go. So I get that 4x4, that block I've got, that support, or your jack or whatever you're using, just right underneath it, and then once I've got it there, I don't have to move it much. And that's it. Not much to it, actually. I want to adjust that a little bit more. There we go. It's important on something like this that you keep it supported well. Otherwise you end up with your cabin on the floor. Occasionally I've had to use some persuasion to move the blocks, but for the most part they're not bad. I'm not really moving it a whole lot, but when I am done, I'm going to take a level inside and make sure that it's still leveled the way it needs to be. And I'll adjust if necessary, but since I'm not really even moving them a whole lot, I don't think it's going to be an issue. All right, time to move on to the next one. All right, and that's it. It wasn't super hard. But I've got all the supports. They're still supporting the cabin. They're just not sticking out from the side of the cabin. So next up, we can come back and I can work on running electric to over here from in there. So we'll get electric over here. Some of it will probably go through the floor up in, some I haven't figured it all out what we're going to do yet, but this was step one to get the electric ran. The electric has to run before we can get any kind of skirting up in any way, shape, or form. And not last night, but yesterday my wife came out here to the cabin. It was 32 degrees when she got here in the around midday, I think. So that would help. I mean, it's still not going to be heated unless we're here, so it'd still get cold. But once you do heat it, we lose a lot through the floor since it's not insulated. So some sort of skirting will be really awesome. We're considering using the tin from the carport as the skirting. Tracey suggested that, and I think it's a really good idea. And the rusted tin would look really good with our little cabin. So that project is done. I just had to put up the jack. Well, I say it's done. I ran into one problem, and at this very moment, I don't know what I'm going to do about it. Probably nothing, but I'll bring the jack back. I'll bring the jack back when it's time to skirt. The problem, let's see if you can see that, is that support there. To run something back here, I'll probably have to move the porch anyway, but it's sticking out. I don't know what we're going to do about the porch and skirting, but I got to figure out something. So all the supports have been moved but that one, and I'll worry about that later. Anyway, y'all, that's this project, and we can move on to the next part, which I'm really looking forward to. We still use a lot of battery powered or solar powered lamps inside, oil lamps, and some of that we'll still use, but being able to have like a bedside lamp or a lamp over the kitchen table will be really, really awesome. And it gets us in line for the air conditioner come next summer to try to cool down the cabin at nighttime, so we're not miserable when we're sleeping. Anyway, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope maybe you learned something. And have any questions or comments, leave them below. Subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. And we'll catch you on the next video. Y'all take care now.